Today, I'm going to climb a mountain. Actually, this one right here, if we're being specific. But what is different about how I'll be hiking up the side of this mountain is that I'm going to be doing it entirely barefoot. Now, I've had my fair share of ankle and foot injuries throughout my many years of high school and then NCAA collegiate athletics. At one point in time, I had such a severe injury to my foot that I was told that it would never rebound or be the same as what it was before. And honestly, in a world where everyone just seeks to use their feet as a handicap, saying, oh, I need inserts or supports, or oh, I can't do this or that, well, I'm here to prove otherwise. So I'm not that worried about really how my arches are gonna hold up. The main thing I'm worried about is just maybe like slipping or cutting the bottoms of my feet. I've trained my feet for a while, progressing from barefoot shoes up to where I am now. So I'm really hoping that those arches are just gonna feel pretty much all right during the whole hike. Okay, but what are the arches of your feet and how do you even train your feet? What are you even training? Let's talk about what's going on underneath your feet. So down here we have the heel bone, also known as the calcaneus. What I'm drawing here with the purple markers are the plantar fascia lines, which we'll now label. We have that lateral arch, we have the medial arch, and we have the calcaneus, the heel that I talked about. Now, if you overexert or apply too much pressure onto untrained fascial lines, you might end up building up some inflammation. And this left unchecked over long periods of time can even lead to actual tears in the fascia, which frequently require surgical interventions to fix. Alright, let's get back to climbing up the side of this mountain. At this point, I've probably already been hiking for around a half mile, and the terrain was turning from that softer, grass-covered kind of wet dirt into this rock scramble where I had to be really careful with every step. Now, it's important to realize that I'm still feeling pretty good at this point, so I'm being a little playful with my steps. I'm maybe not checking my feet, being as mindful as I should be, but trust me, that ends up changing drastically as I got further up the mountain and further into these rock scrambly areas. Even these leaf-trodden areas have tons of little sharp rocks hidden underneath them. Especially when I'm navigating streams trying not to get wet like this, sometimes I end up doing improper footing on top of a sharper rock edge, and that really started to wear on me later in the hike. So I didn't start at a place where I could actually walk and do this kind of thing barefoot right now. I really had to build up over time. And this really started off with me switching to wearing barefoot style shoes instead of my regular trainers. A major difference of being barefoot isn't just the protection from bumps or scratches, but it's actually the padding found on the bottom of your shoes. This can artificially support your arch in a position where it doesn't have to train the muscles to maintain it. Looking at a barefoot style shoe versus a common running shoe side by side, you can really see that heel to toe angle drop. And then specifically looking at the heel padding of these shoes, it becomes very easy to understand why so many people are talking about the issues of heel striking. You have so much padding on the heel, it's very easy to do that. And so whether you're barefoot or wearing a little bit of shoes for protection, you're training the muscles to maintain your arch. At this point during the hike, we had passed over the halfway mark of going up the side of the mountain, and things were definitely starting to pick up. There started becoming a lot more areas of rock scrambles, and while going up these rock staircases weren't too bad, lowering down and actually stepping down and trying to guess what surfaces would be okay or not was the most challenging part by far. However, with the cloud cover increasing and me starting to get paranoid about rain coming through or having the sunset reach before we had a chance to get back down after, we redoubled the speed and started trying to climb even faster up towards the summit of the mountain. Alright, so we've been hiking for maybe 34 minutes now. I'm not gonna lie, feet getting a little bit tender out here. Soles of my feet getting a little tired. The arches themselves don't feel like they're creaking, but it's like the skin itself. I don't think my calluses are thick enough, but
we're chugging along, making some progress. Let's get back to it.
And after a short water break, we were right back at it, climbing up towards the top of the mountain. Quick feet check right here, making sure that I still have all of my toes and they haven't been completely lost to the rocks and cold yet. I feel totally like Frodo Baggins right now. But since we aren't hobbits in Lord of the Rings, how do we go about efficiently training the muscles in our feet to be able to handle tasks like this? Aside from passively strengthening my feet through using barefoot shoes, the main targeted lifting approach that I took towards strengthening my feet were towel curls, shown here. Now, a lot of people have done towel curls and show videos on them, but as you can see here, this is a common flaw I see in the technique, where you're pulling just with the toes. Instead, I think it's important to first contract the arch and then curl the toes, making it eventually a nice fluid movement shown right here. This exercise can be weighted as well, shown here with a light dumbbell. And this is a type of progression that I used often during my training block. Ultimately, this has led to a strong and durable foot that's hopefully able to withhold climbing a mountain barefoot.
All right, starting to get closer to the top now. Feet are feeling pretty good at the moment. Still trudging along with the bare feet. Shouldn't be more than a few minutes just to get to the end.
But that was a complete lie, and my feet were not feeling great at all, and I was honestly starting to get pretty tired.
I'm starting to feel kind of tired out here.
But that didn't stop us at all as we renewed our efforts for the final push heading up to the summit of the mountain. Here I'm getting pretty excited, taking my last few steps before getting to that mountaintop vista and reaching my goal of having climbed an entire mountain barefoot. Remember that this is something that's more of a culmination of months and years of me training my feet in order to be able to endure this kind of activity. If you're used to living life in orthotics and heavily supported and padded shoes, this would be a pretty big jump for you. So I'm not recommending that you go ahead and start doing something like this right away, but maybe start slowly transitioning yourself into it.
All right, it's pretty windy up here at the top, so I'm not sure how good the audio quality is gonna be, but we did it. We made it to the top of the mountain barefoot the entire way, just to show that, you know, regardless of any past injuries or issues with your feet, this is trainable. You can train past ankle sprains, plantar fascia issues, smart progression over time, and be able to do pointless stuff like this. Thanks for watching the video, and wish me luck on the way back down.